Alright, lunchtime over. So, I got these leftover pieces of cedar weatherboard. They were from a job that I did about a year and a bit ago. They've just been sitting in my garage because they were just too good of pieces to throw away. And I mean, where else are you going to use them? Like, yeah, they're not really usable on a job unless you had like a little small piece, which we just didn't. They're just offcuts. So you can see here these cracks in them and things like that. So they're not really usable, but I just figured, you know, why throw out good cedar? So what I'm going to do is going to rip off the unusable bits. So all I'm really going to use is this bit here in the guts. So we'll rip off that, and then we'll router each side of that, and that will give me a bead. And then I can rip that off with the table saw. It'll give me a bead on each side, and hopefully I might be able to get 4 out of each piece, maybe even be able to get a piece out of this. So I might actually cut up there and then cut up there, and then take a bead out of each one of these, so I can try and get at least sort of one side out of each of these pieces. So we're just going to do some test runs, see how it works. Hopefully it comes up all right. We'll just dial it in till we've got a nice cracky bit. Oh, those earbuds are fucked. Alright, so we set it at our depth. That's what I'm going to run with and see if it comes out nice. Have a play with it. Because it looks cool. What I'm thinking is I go thicker this way and keep that and just go a bit, yeah, because that's about what I want. And I look at it, it's about the thickness that I'm kind of after. I'm even tempted just to take that little bit off there and see if that might solve the issue. Alright, so I think I've got the right profile now. It seems a bit more nice and even. So I'm going to follow that because that sits in there really nice. That sits in there really nice. So that'll go in there around my edges, and yeah. So going to rip a heap of this. Yeah, that's the end there. So rip a heap of this, cut it to length, fit it, and then use some little panel pins, because you do not use a finishing gun on this sort of thing, because it's entirely too fragile. So no, you'd even pre-drill it and use some panel pins. But yeah, right. Alright, wow, that was fun. That was actually quite satisfying to do. So that beading is all mited in there now. So literally I've just got to give it a final little tickle up with a bit of sandpaper just to get it to where I want it. And then gonna look at test fitting the glass before I do anything else. But I'm fairly confident with that beading how it is. And then the glass will sit inside that. And then I'll do the other side. So yeah, as you saw there with the table saw, so it's just a matter of just playing around with it, and just getting things exact as you can. Like, albeit you're not gonna, like, yeah, just strive your best really to get as sort of perfect result as you possibly can, given the materials that we've got, and the machining that I have available. Could set up a router table and do it on a router table and things like that, but it's just not really necessary. I'm getting a really good result using the bit that I'm using and then putting it through the table saw, just being very nice and slow and careful, and yeah, I'm pretty happy with the overall result. All the thicknesses are really nice and uniform, so yeah, really stoked with that. So we'll whack it together and that'll probably be us for the day. All right. Welcome back. So typical me, skipped ahead because my battery ran out. So you can see here that the glass beading is in, and the window is also in. It's all nailed off and sitting in there really nicely. I've gone around and sanded everything off. If you can't tell, that this here is the extra that I was talking about because the door was low. So it's just got some dowels through there, put through the thicknesser, and then clamped and glued into place, and then just sanded it off just now. So that brings my door up to the height that I need. And yeah, it's all cedar and all matches pretty well, so pretty happy with that. Gone around, sanded everything, and yeah, that's basically it. So I'm really happy with how this has come out. Next step is putting hinges on, and then sitting it in the door frame, and attaching it to the door frame, and then once that big old step is done, it is looking at doing the door hardware. Hey, guess what? I did it again. Get used to it, because this is how I roll. Mainly because I want the work to come first rather than worrying about camera angles just yet. I'd prefer my work to be a primary focus, just to make sure that I'm getting such a good result. That's why I do what I do. So you can see there that the hinges are not at the same spot. Two reasons. One is that's where the old hinge holes were, but I've slightly off-centered so I'm not going in the same old holes, and I've put one in the center of that so that lines up. Otherwise it would look wrong if I put that down there. So it just makes it a bit unique. So that opens up, and yeah, hinges routed in, piece of cake. I'm sure we all know how to route a hinge in. It's not that hard. Okay, but look at that, perfection. Anyway, next is door handle. I showed you how to do that the other day. Or have I? I don't know. Alright, it's in, doorstop's in, easy as. So you do the doorstop after you do the hardware. Yeah, quick. So, that is what you can do with a recycled door. Oops. Pretty nifty. Same height as that. Ooh, yeah, almost like I've got planned, mate. Pretty cool. Alright. Like, comment, all that good stuff. Do it. See ya.